Hello and welcome to another episode of Film Freakz with a Z, the podcast all about movies with a Z at the end. That's right. Every episode is about a singular movie. We're gonna talk about and go over a movie, and we'll introduce this episode's movie in a little bit. But first, I want to invite you, yes you, the listener, to join in on the fan vote. That's right. You can get your movie in the fan vote if you send us an email at ff.filmfreaks@gmail.com. Or you can talk on my Discord, the Ferret Nation Discord, in the movies section. Or you can just simply comment on the latest episode of Film Freakz on my YouTube channel, Yemmy the Ferret. So you can enter in your movie recommendation, and you can choose our fate. The votes usually happen during Tay's recommendation, so you have a week or so, a few weeks in order to get anything in. Right now, we're just kind of going on repeats, so you can get yours in the next vote if you enter in now. All right, so before we introduce the movie, let's introduce ourselves. I am Yemmy the Ferret, aka Yemmy. Who am I here with?
Pretty Waffle.
Taymation.
Coco Gamer.
Howdy do, everyone. We have the full crew today.
Woo!
Hey.
We've been pretty lucky to have a guest on for most of the times we've had someone not be able to make an episode. But our luck's wearing thin, guys. I don't know.
It is. It is.
Which leads us to our first bit of business. Tay, we just need your thoughts and your rating of Megamind that we talked about last episode with Fellow, if you don't mind.
Okay. I believe I gave it a 3.5. If I remember, that's what you said. I said.
That's what you said. That I said that you said.
Yeah.
The lowest of them all.
Yeah. It was the lowest of them all. Apparently, I really enjoyed Megamind. I thought it was really well done. I mean, there's a few things I didn't care for, but overall, I really liked it. But it's not one that I'd go out of my way to see again, which is why I gave it a little bit lower.
Ooh, that's interesting. I would definitely watch that movie again, but no.
It's just like I said, there were just some of the things that rubbed me the wrong way enough that I was just eh. But it's like I said, I still enjoyed it. I thought it was well done. I can see why people really like it, but just for me, it was all right. I've seen it. That's enough.
Yeah, the main thing is I think the plot is really good. There's no doubt about that. But the animation kind of I know that you guys were saying an over the hedge. The animation looked weird for the humans, but in this movie, it's all humans and it all looks weird.
Yeah,
that was my main gripe about it, I guess.
Yes, it did look weird. And then, like I said, there was just a few little things that I didn't care for. I don't even remember what they are at this point because it's been a month since I watched the movie. But yeah.
No, that's okay. We won't pressure you anymore.
Okay.
3.5 from Tay. So yeah, let's move on to this episode's movie, which was recommended by me, Yemmy the Ferret. I recommended GoldenEye. I found out that it wasn't 007 GoldenEye, it's just GoldenEye. It came out in 1995. It was directed by Martin Campbell. In the synopsis, there are several spoilers, so I apologize to the people who listened to the last episode not ever watching GoldenEye, and they were like, oh, well, I guess I don't need to watch it because it spoils the whole movie in here. But I digress. When a powerful satellite system falls into the hands of Alec Trevelyan, a.k.a. 006, a former ally turned enemy, only James Bond can save the world from an awesome space weapon that, in one short pulse, could destroy the Earth. Which, I don't know, I'm sorry to start the discussion, but they didn't say that it was going to destroy the Earth. I mean, it was just it was a EMP almost, right?
But they just still they didn't even know what an EMP actually was because it caused everything to malfunction and then blow up. When it's EMP, it cuts the power.
Yeah.
Your computer blow up when you lose power.
That's weird. That's a weird
It's a more-
description of it, right? Destroy the Earth. Like
Yeah.
it can cause harm, right? Because it is a.
Yeah.
I think
Yeah.
they said it was like a nuke exploding in space, kind of like Modern Warfare 2. But I don't. I mean,
Yeah.
it wasn't like Earth destroying. It was just like, oh,
Yeah,
a
they were
city
gonna-
could be shut down.
Yeah, they were going to use it on London, which would shut down their power. And granted, planes and helicopters flying over London would crash. And that
Yeah,
would be...
but-
so there would be a big disaster from it, but it wouldn't be like, it's not
Yeah, it wouldn't
world-ending.
be will destroying. It's,
Yeah.
Yeah.
like, it's-
And the thing is, like, you could only use them once.
yeah.
Literally. That's all they needed though, because they were trying to steal all that money. But
Yeah.
anyway,
They were just looking out for today's world problem. I mean, if we had a nuke or an EMP nowadays, everything would the world would literally blow up because everything's so electronic based.
Yeah. I mean, we just go back to, the 80s.
Back to A's grab this machine. It's like, here you go.
Well, no, I don't even think EMPs, like, disable them permanently.
They don't. Like
Like-
it's sure. Like,
yeah.
we can.
Yeah, it's like,
rebuild
oh
it.
no, we're back
Fix
to
it.
we're back to the Stone Age for maybe a day or two.
Oh, that would end so many people's lives.
It's true, it would. Like,
Yeah.
don't get me wrong, and all the planes and stuff crashing, that'd be a big issue. But
Mm-hmm. So it's like it's not what they hype it up to be.
Yeah. well, I remember seeing this movie as a kid and really enjoying it, and like there was a lot of
Hold on,
nostalgia watching.
hold on,
this
guys.
film.
I didn't finish the synopsis.
Oh, yo, you didn't?
Nah, we don't need it.
Yeah, at this point, we really
Yeah.
don't need the rest of it. But I would like to say the main actors and actresses. So we have
Oh, okay, that's fair.
Pierce Brosnan, who this is his first Bond movie, if I remember correctly.
It is.
Sean Bean, Isabella Scorupco, Famke Janssen, Joe Don Baker, Judi Dench, Robbie Coltrane, and Alan Cummings, to name a few of the main characters there. So the reason I picked this movie, I don't know, did I call it a game before? It's a movie. The reason I picked it is because I mean, I've never seen a James Bond game before, or seen a James Bond movie before, but I've played the games, like every single one of them, right? Except for like some of the newer ones like Bloodstone. But the only reason that I have like any connection to James Bond is because I played GoldenEye back on the N64. I played Agent Under Fire on the PS2, Nightfire on the PS2, From Russia with Love on the GameCube. You know, all these like classic 007 games. But I never actually watched a 007 movie. And now that I have watched a 007 movie, I can say that I really enjoyed, the games a little bit more, because they kind of expand on the plot that's in the movie. So instead of, like the movie having like this, 10-minute intro where he goes inside the dam and, he's out in like 2 seconds, the game kind of expanded on that and made it a little bit more fleshed out, I guess you could say. But the real place that I would like to start is it kind of more towards the end of the movie, because this action sequence really stood out to me, and it's like one of my favorite action sequences now. It's one of those ridiculous action scenes where it's like, this wouldn't make sense in real life, but
The whole
in the
movie. was like
movie-
that. What are you talking
Yeah,
about?
like,
well,
the whole movie was
sure,
like that, yeah.
but let me finish.
Yeah,
Let me finish this before you guys start picking on me. The scene where the James Bond is in a tank and he's chasing after the car. That is like my favorite scene in this entire movie. It is it was so funny, and it was just like kind of outrageous to think that this tank is just like crushing through these buildings with no problem. It's chasing down a car that's speeding down a road and going through all these corners and stuff, and James Bond keeps up with him. And also, all the cars behind him are just like randomly exploding. Like they go through the alleyway and they crash, and then it's like 10 seconds later, it just randomly explodes in a giant fireball, even though it probably wouldn't have.
You can actually like see like the car like on its like, what do they call it, like the catapult, like like how they actually like set up like the exploding car, like the launch pad. You can see it actually because his car is just sitting there, and then all of a sudden it just kind of like goes in that motion that would go.
Also, the people also the people just randomly like falling off. You go over the bridge and you just see 4 people just like just jump into the river.
scene reminded me of, and Yemmy would probably appreciate this, it's like something you would see in like Stuntman, like the video game, where it's like turn left here, and then you see like the yellow square box, and like the car, catapults forward for no apparent reason. I don't know. That's what it kind of.
No, yeah, I totally agree. I think obviously that game was inspired by a lot of different stunts, but I think I could see like you totally like use the tank and you go through the game. That'd be pretty funny. But I just think that like the campiness and like the kind of more classic effects. I mean, I know this movie was in like the 90s, so they did a little bit more than like let's say Indiana Jones back in the day. But I think it kind of adds to like the charm of the movie with like kind of the more practical stuff that happens throughout it. And I don't know if any of you guys have seen like the newer James Bond to compare it to, because I haven't. But
I have.
So Tay, how would you compare like the action in a newer James Bond movie to like something like this?
It's more realistic. Like, it's not as campy. So like in this one, you see like 18 guys all with AK-47s shooting at Bond and missing every shot. Yeah. And then he turns around and there's in one like sweep kills them all.
Right.
And that happens over and over in this movie. And in the newer ones, it's more realistic where Bond does get hit by bullets and all of these different things. And
well, maybe he's just not a good Bond.
It's not as good.
But it's just like most of these people are military people, and it's like they're trained to shoot their targets.
Yeah.
Like, why are they missing? They had a clear shot
later. Yeah. Even the main villain at the end, 006, he's like missing everything. He's like, I'm like, literally, he's right there on the crosswalk.
Yeah.
And can't get him.
Yeah, to that point, I think that like the hand-to-hand combat is a lot more impressive than the gun combat in this movie.
Yeah.
Because like it's actually like both James Bond and 006 or whoever he's fighting is also they're kind of trading blows. I mean, you also get the sexual orgasms from the female in the movie.
Yeah, sorry, Coco. You didn't want with your parents.
Yeah, I think the newer ones it focuses more on the hand-to-hand combats too. Yeah. Like there's less guns. I don't know. I haven't seen. It's been a while since I've seen them. They aren't like the first one. The first new one with Daniel Craig was pretty good, and I think the third one, but I never saw the other ones.
But yeah, anytime that there was like a hand-to-hand combat scene, like you could feel like it was really intense, But when it was like a gun scene, it was like Demolition Man, where it's like it's just stupid action and explosions everywhere. The satellite explodes and then everything explodes and then it falls down and then it explodes again and it's like But when you're doing the hand-to-hand stuff, it feels just so much more intense, just like hand-to-hand stuff. And James Bond's being choked out by the lady's thighs, even though her thighs are like around his abdomen.
That doesn't work. It doesn't work like that.
Our local medical expert, Greedy Waffles, on the case.
First, I was gonna say is that first scene, like what got me was that first scene was like hiding behind, I guess, the gas containers, because I knew we figured it's like if it shoots one, then they're all gonna explode. But then just James Bond shoots them all down and none of them explode.
Those were empty. They weren't filled yet.
No, I mean that's why they weren't shooting him. They thought they were like, oh no, if we shoot him, we'll explode. And then the one guy does shoot him, and nothing happens. Yeah, and then so the general turns and shoots the guy.
Okay. I thought you were talking about the ones that came down and.
Oh yeah, no.
So it's like, I mean, there's other ways you can shoot them. You have like different positions too, and you're just like, nope, I'm just gonna stand right here, do nothing.
I don't know. There was many of those scenes where, like, I want to say there's 3 of them where he's, going through the bases or whatever, and he's planting those bombs. And the first scene, the scene that we're just talking about, he plants it for 3 minutes. There's no way all that, including the airplane, including the runway, took more than 3 minutes. Like,
exactly.
Well, it's the classic movie trope of, set a timer for 6 minutes. It takes 15,
And then at the end of the movie where they're in the satellite base, he plants the C4 again, and you can hear the ticking, and the army's right there, and I'm like, You guys can't hear the ticking. You guys can't see the gas leaking. Like, are you serious? Like,
well,
what's going on
when
here?
It starts like water falling off the balcony, and they run by it, and they're just like, "Whatevs."
Yeah.
I don't get paid enough for this.
Also, like the amount I have to talk about scene, like the amount of times they focus on the pen cooking, and you can clearly see James Bond just looking at it. When you like put two together and saying that pen is something more, when he's really holding and watching him while he's holding his gun to his head.
Yeah, I don't know. I thought that scene was really well done though. Like the scene where the pen's clicking. Because I was trying to follow along too. I was like, okay, he's clicked it 3 times, and he clicked it once. Then he clicked it 3 more times. I was like, damn, what I was like so interested in this pen, and they really made that like feel intense because it like zoomed in on the pen.
The scene.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think that they would notice him looking at the pen, honestly. I mean, he could just, be, it's not like you can kind of zone in on where someone's looking exactly. But I thought that was really a good little plot point where, they haven't really done anything with the pen. You're waiting to see, like, is there something going to be actually done with this pen, or is it just, like, going to be, like, one of those things that Q shows off and they never use, like the rockets on the car.
Yeah, but sometimes that does happen. But
yeah, it was like really a cool scene, and you're not, like, expecting him to,
Yeah.
You're not expecting him to grab the wrong pen or, for the pen to fall out of his pocket. It was really cool, and I like that. I like that whole scene.
So, I guess this is going back a little bit. There's one scene where James could have just solved. Obviously, they wanted the movie to be longer, so they didn't let him just do it. But while Alec and Xenia both were just kind of like just getting up after like the train crash, he could just walked in, shot them both.
Yeah.
Turned around, shot the general before he got Natalia, and then just been like, okay, cool, problem solved.
It's like the end.
It seems like they were beating like a dead horse with that, James Bond gets captured, and then they're like, oh, we'll just keep him hostage, and then he escapes. So I was like, okay, here we go again.
Played that trope like 3 times in this movie.
Well, and then there's sometimes like, doesn't he? Why don't he take a hit and just die? It's like, because you capture him and then you don't just shoot him.
Right.
Yeah, it's like you don't just shoot him. There's also several scenes where Six had plenty of opportunity to shoot him, and he doesn't.
Yeah.
Like I get, it's like, oh, you gotta have him say something so Bond can escape. But it's like, no, it's just like it's like if it's one scene, it's fine. If it's multiple scenes, like now it's just getting a little old.
Well, 006 is kind of like the Joker, where he's like, I gotta make a message out of this death. So like at the end of the train scene when he's like, I set the timers for 6 minutes, and they actually set for 3. It's like, oh, that's like sweet justice, right? Or when the helicopter is, he fires the missiles from the helicopter because that's like one of James's failures is he didn't stop the helicopter from flying into the air. He's like, oh, that's sweet justice for not being able to capture that. So, but by the end he's just like, fuck me, just die already. I thought that was kind of funny.
Yeah, and like
he's tried the evil genius type gags and gimmicks, and he's finally like, fuck it, pull out a pistol, run this guy down, and try and shoot him in the face.
And like that trope, like with the the villain monologuing and the hero escapes, like that originated, I believe, from James Bond movies.
I believe
yeah, like it happens all the time in James Bond movies, especially the older ones.
Let's cut back to the opening scene, because I think that's like one of the more iconic scenes, like opening like parts of a movie where he's in the vents, he takes out the guy in the toilet, right? I found that like so like it kind of sets the tone for the entire movie. Like, yeah, we're gonna have some goofy stuff in here, and there was some parts where I laughed, but I think the most ridiculous part is because like the scene's going pretty well. He escapes after 006 gets shot, quote unquote. And then he dives to the plane as it's free falling. I'm like, wow, I don't think this is too realistic here.
It's like it's like out of all the things you dive into the plane, but
and then he's still able to take control and fly it around.
And the machine's like, oh, it's like 10 feet away from the ground. It's like, nope, that's just enough height for it to go up.
But I guess that just kind of sets the tone for the movie. It's going to be a little bit more, unrealistic.
But that's a little too far for being a little
Yeah.
unrealistic. I mean, I get some things, but it's just like, oh, come on. I mean, I what I don't get is the commander. Like, why did he like? It seems like throughout the whole movie, it was just like, wait, don't shoot him. It was just like, I get, before for the bombs, and then he figured, no, Bond's gonna fall to death. But it seemed like later on, he was just like, oh, don't shoot him. I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why he didn't order them to shoot him when he's running on the tarmac. Because, like, they had
Yeah.
clear shots, but he was like, oh, let's let him jump off the end, and I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
that was my thing. I was like, they could have solved a lot of problems if they just killed him right here.
Yeah. That
It's
would've
like,
been the
no,
end.
we want to see how this plays out.
I mean, they're terrible shots though, so they would have
Yeah, it
missed
wouldn't
all
matter
the shots.
anyway.
And
Yeah.
I'm actually kind of, maybe a little annoyed throughout the movie. Like, they'll show, like, them missing the shots, but it was always by their head, like, by, like, a couple inches. I was like, why? Like they're going into cover, and it will show them, like, shooting, like, the cover, even though they're on the opposite side. It shows, like, bullet mark, right by his head. I'm like, why? It doesn't make sense.
Reminds me of like it's a different movie, but they had like it made fun of it. There's the Naked Gun series where they always said like they have shooting ounces and they'll purposely just shoot away from the person, and just like they shoot like over the person and even before they see him up. It just makes me think of that. I'm seeing my
Well,
purposely
I mean,
missing.
yeah, those movies definitely parody James Bond movies. So
Yeah.
Little did you know those Russian soldiers are now stormtroopers.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah, I felt a little bad too, like when he's escaping the archives or library or whatever in the game. I think the game called it the library, but it was actually an archive. Like he's just killing these soldiers left and right, where it's like these technically aren't the bad guys. I know
He's got a license to kill, Tay, and he's
I know.
using it.
Yeah.
I know.
He's like, I have
It's
this
like,
license. I
you
can't just let it go
all,
to
I'm
waste.
shooting.
It's like if you get a fisher's license and you don't use it, it's like, I guess I gotta go fishing at least once this year. So
Yeah,
James Bond's like, I guess I gotta at least kill at least 20 soldiers to get this, make this worth it. So,
Yeah.
Don't they say that line in every James Bond movie? Maybe Tay knows, but like how they mention 007 means license to kill.
well, 007 is his agent number.
Yeah.
He just has a license to kill with
All the agents do, like all the 00 agents do.
Yeah.
I thought 007 meant license to kill.
No, that's
I
just.
don't
know.
I mean, there's literally a movie called 007 License to Kill, but I don't think it has anything to do with the numbers. Because the numbers are just him. Like, I was saying this to Amanda, my fiance, when we were watching the movie. I'm like, James Bond is an idea. It's kind of like the Joker,
Yeah.
It's because James Bond, Q, M, they can all change actors, and it makes sense because his name's not actually James Bond. 007 is just a number that designates who he is. M, M was a man before Judi Dench,
Yeah.
and her name's still M. There's been a few different Qs, I know. So James Bond is more of an idea. So the license to kill thing isn't signified by 007. It's just kind of something that it's like a good catchphrase.
It's add on.
For him, yeah.
Yeah.
For MI6.
Also, I have to ask this. I'm not sure if you know the younger Q, but who did you guys enjoy, the older Q or the younger Q better?
Well, I know actually the older Q. I like the older Q, but he actually in the next movie gets replaced by John Cleese. He's like training John Cleese, which I actually really like John Cleese. So
Yeah, I like John Cleese too. I just like the sense of humor that the old Q had. Just like,
Yeah,
don't
yeah.
touch that. It's my lunch.
Yeah, that whole scene was really funny. I've never, of course, I don't really know any other Qs besides from them or him, but yeah, that was a pretty funny scene throughout the whole thing. I enjoyed that.
yeah, no, I really like the old Qs. Yeah, the new Q from like the new Bonds is like a young kid or something. It just seems weird.
Yeah. You just have to try to get him going the same humor, but it's a little altered and it's just not the same. Like for the newer movies.
Yeah.
So, one of the things that kind of like was annoying to me was the fact that they kept like referencing like that 007 and 6 had like a past, but they didn't like show it, and then, like it almost felt like we were missing an entire movie worth of, you know, James Bond and 006 doing things together. You know, like that's the vibe that I got, because like every time they met, they would be like, "Oh, remember back when we did this and I blah blah blah," or "Remember when we were best friends," and it just seemed like we were missing like a whole movie worth of content of them being friends, and I think that it would have. I guess the betrayal of 006 would have worked a little bit better if we did have like a movie before this where, you know, James Bond and him are like super friends and they're going through a mission together. You know, I don't know if you guys agree, but
like Reds or something.
Because I think I'm not 100% sure. I haven't seen all of the James Bond movies, but I feel like this is the first time. Like, because when I saw this as a kid, I had a friend who was really into James Bond movies and stuff. And I feel like this is the first time we actually see another 00 agent.
Oh, okay.
Like, ever.
Until we get to like
I don't know for sure. There's a lot of James Bond movies. I have seen maybe a total of 6 of them, counting the new ones. So
I've seen a total of 1.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, let's see, because I've seen all the Pierce Brosnan ones, and this is the best Pierce Brosnan one. All the rest are just dumb.
I think I've seen more, but I just don't remember them.
I know I've seen like snippets of other ones, but I've never like sat down and watched the whole movie until this one. So.
Yeah,
I seen another one of his, but I cannot remember what the name of it was.
There was like, I know there's Die Another Day, and then like Live and Let Live, or
Live Free or Die Hard. Oh wait, no.
No.
No Time to Die, you mean? Or...
I don't even remember.
Yeah,
something to do with dying, you know.
Yeah. And problem with a lot of James Bond movies is they're too long.
Yeah, this one did slow down a lot during the middle. You could feel the runtime.
And they all do that. And you just get to the point where you're just like, you're trying to be an action movie, and then suddenly you're
having sex.
Well, that happens a lot. But yeah, and it's just like,
that sex.
Oh, that would also annoy me about this movie is like Natalia was just like, I hate you, let's have sex.
Yeah.
I hate you, let's have sex again. Let's go have sex some more. And it's just like, and it was like a 30-minute.
It was a train wreck of emotions.
Yeah, and it was like a 30-minute scene, or like different scenes of them just having sex.
Yeah, and through the whole movie, they didn't really have any chemistry either. It wasn't. Yeah. It wasn't like it wasn't like they had like this budding romance forming. It just kind of happened randomly.
Yeah. It happened because Bond needs to have sex with ladies.
Have sex with all the ladies.
And it was bad, and it was just like, why is she? Just 2 seconds ago, she was saying how you were like the worst person on the planet.
Yeah. But I do like that Natalia could hold her own in the movie, because like James Bond, of course, he's even in the movie they're like, he's a misogynist, blah 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 blah, and it's true, we can't deny that. But I do like that she was able to kind of hold her own. She kind of like counteracted, like, because Bond would be like, stay here because there's like something happening, and she would run off and actually do something that would actually help the situation. So it's not like she was just like a damsel in distress or something like that. She actually helped the movie, and it was actually a good foil to James Bond, because she was actually capable of doing things like the computer work and stuff like that.
Yeah. So if I
was gonna say, the movies, like, I feel like the movies like trying to be like, see, look, we're self-aware that James Bond is problematic, but we're having a character pointed out, so it's okay.
And how many movies have come out afterward with the same stuff happening?
Yep, a lot. Oh, I think Pierce Brosnan had 4 movies, and now Daniel Craig's also got 4.
Yeah, there's supposed to be a new one coming out this year. So.
Yeah.
Skyfall?
No, Spectre was the latest one, which I didn't see. Spectre. Good. Yeah, I saw Skyfall. Skyfall was good. I know the second Daniel Craig one was awful. Like, it was so bad.
Casino Royale was the first one, but I can't remember.
Yeah, Casino Royale was pretty good. Like, it had the same problems where there was times where it went on too long, and there was just random love-making scenes and whatnot, but At least with that one, the characters you felt like there was a little chemistry there, if I remember right.
Something, but
yeah. Well, yeah, James Bond movies. They're a little problematic.
Love and hate them.
Yeah, like there's some cool things in them, but then there's just a lot of like, oh my god, I can't believe.
No, it's like no.
Can't believe I'm doing this.
Yeah.
Although I will say, like I said, this movie, the Bond movie, because like I said, I saw it as a kid. There was a lot of nostalgia there, especially because of the game. I was like, oh, I remember this level in the game. Ah, this was a cool level. And then I remember there's parts where like, I wish this had been in the game, but like I don't think you get a I can't remember if you. I don't.
No, you don't
you
get to drive a tank. No way.
Yeah, like you just get to the tank and that ends the level, and it's like, how cool. I mean, it was a 64, probably gonna handle it like, but how cool would it have been to drive around a tank and just blow shit up.
My favorite part about that tank scene is where he's like hiding inside because he's going through all the buildings, and then he just pops up like there's no debris or anything, in the tank.
Yeah.
So, no boulders or anything, no bricks fell on his head. It's all good.
Yeah.
Unless I missed the part where he opens the lid, but
No,
I don't think so.
I didn't see
it was
it.
open the entire time because you could see like the light on his face. So
yeah, I mean, no debris on his head. It's all good.
Yeah, of course not. He's James Bond. He's just that good.
And then the Russian guy's just driving into the river. No, like what?
well, you know,
Oh no, a car in front of me. I should not stop. I should just keep going.
And the explosion happening before the car came into contact.
Yep.
yeah. I mean, it's hard for me to criticize that stuff because of the overall nature of the film. Is like
True.
It's just
That's
it's
the point.
camp. It's old school special effects.
Yeah.
Like I can't really criticize it for like, oh, the explosion is too big for these two cars. Like it's funny, I laugh.
Okay.
It adds, like I said, it adds to the charm of the movie. They have like it's like special effects that are kind of good, but they're like not there yet. So it's like like you said earlier, Nick, the catapult lifting the car up. You could see it, or you could tell it. Someone different was driving the Bond car away because they had to do like some special move, so they had a stunt guy in there. But for the most part, it just added to the overall flavor of the movie, and I can't really criticize it for that because it just kind of made the movie more fun.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. No, there's definitely a few times I chuckled and laughed at like effects that were just like it was bad, but it was funny because it was just good.
Yeah, there was different moments I laughed. I did enjoy that. Like two scenes. Is like one where he like punched the guy in his face in the bathroom when he was just hanging down from the ceiling, and two when he's just like, "You have a license to kill, not a license to avoid traffic laws."
Yeah. I would have liked actually a little more like set up for why they were in that facility in the very beginning. Like, what was their mission? Because we just see them going in and blowing shit up, but it's like, why?
A satellite position, or
no? Because it wasn't the satellite. It was like when 006 supposedly died. Like, why did
toxic barrels or something like that, or explosive barrels?
I think it was just like a side mission that had the runtime.
Maybe to kill him or something.
No, I think the opening was
just evil.
Well, yeah, exactly. They're evil. We gotta destroy these weapons, or whatever. The fuel to make rockets or whatever. Who knows? But I think the dam was like, obviously it was making power, but it might have been like a cover for the facility that's like underneath it or whatever.
Yeah, which, like I said, I just would have liked a little bit of, just like one or two lines to say like, oh, we're stopping this or something, just so it's not like, all right, they're here, they're blowing stuff up. He's jumping off the dam onto a plane. Why did any of this happen? Why did they need two double agents or 00 agents for this job?
But lights, camera, explosions.
Oh, I forgot.
That's why. Even though there was hardly any explosion, but
yeah. I love that. I love that scene. Like, I think it is an iconic scene. I think it's really good. I just want to know why they were there.
Well, yeah, like like I was saying, like they could have done like a whole nother movie, and then like the cliffhanger was them going, finding out that the explosives were at the dam, and then it's like tune in next time,
Yeah.
like that would have been like a cool thing, like a two-parter, but they didn't, so we're kind of left with some questions.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
I mean,
I don't know
sure,
about. Go ahead, Nick. I was going to change the subject.
I'm sure. They were a part of like a war at that time, right? I'm sure. I mean, it has something to do with that.
Yeah, I mean, it was the Cold War at that point.
So I'm sure there's like background information on it, but
yeah.
Anyways, go ahead.
So I for one really enjoyed the like entire ending sequence, like the action and stuff like that. The only thing that I like criticized about the ending, like not the ending, but like the end of the action, where Sean Bean like falls from the satellite dish like 50 feet or whatever, and he's still alive, and then the thing comes crashing down. And you can hear him screaming. It's like, this dude be dead. This guy would have been dead from the fall. Like, you don't.
Yeah.
it was just kind of ridiculous how he's on the ground screaming, and you're like, yeah, I don't think he would be like conscious or anything. I think he would be dead.
Even if he did live, he would be unconscious and wouldn't see the thing falling down on him. That definitely would have killed him.
And I don't think he would have been able to let out a sound. It's all those different things.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I actually really enjoyed like the ending sequence, especially Boris's death. It's just like such a great cherry to the top of the movie, because he's he does this invincible thing and then he gets frozen.
I am invincible.
Yeah.
Like, well.
Yeah, I always liked that as a kid. The one thing I noticed this time that seemed a little odd. So Natalia like hijacks the helicopter, which is fine. But then when Bond gets off and like she jumps out, it just like he just flies away. He's just like, well, I'm fine. I don't need to kill you guys or anything. I'm just leaving.
Yeah.
And then the Americans show up and they're just like, see, look, we had you covered. It's like, did you though? They were just hiding in the hayfield.
There was literally like minutes left on the countdown, and we didn't see any of you. So
yeah. God damn it, Joe Don Baker! Stop letting us down.
But they gotta come in like the Sherman tanks and take all the glory away from the actual soldiers. So
just like that. Sorry. One moment it was like at the end, we're just like, "Oh, find me alone," and then you just see him. Then you just see him. Dang it! I can't remember his name.
Joe Don Baker.
Yeah, and all his marshals just come up. He's like, "Hello."
hello there.
We were just hoping you'd do it on top of this. But yeah, again, it's just like why were they were supposedly going to be for backup, but I guess James never called in. He never called it in, so they were just waiting.
Yeah.
But wouldn't you like hear the explosions or something? It's like, all right, screw this backup. Let's go in, go out or something.
Yeah. Well, what you gonna do? Maybe
it's fun.
Yeah. So yeah, I think that's all the bases covered for my end. I don't know about you guys.
Yeah, we talked about the EMP, the bad chemistry. I think those were my two big points.
Yeah, I think I got all my points. Yeah. As normal, I'll be talking about my analysis, and then I'll be like, oh yeah, I forgot about this.
Yeah, me too.
All right, so we'll do our final review and rating. And I'll start, of course, because it was my movie choice. But, so I enjoyed the movie for what it's worth. I think it's, like, a little bit better than, let's say, like, Demolition Man. Only because, like, I think the action was a little bit better. And I think, like, the story was a little bit stronger than Demolition Man. But that's besides the point. Two different movies. I thought that was a nice little campy, movie. Lots of big explosions and big action. It did slow down a little bit in there. You could kind of feel the runtime. I guess you could probably shorten some of the scenes or something like that. But I think the action is what really holds this together. And there's like several big, great action scenes in this movie, from the opening to James Bond driving the car around the cliffs to driving the tank through the streets and through all escaping from the military, and then the big ending was a lot of fun too. Yeah, the chemistry thing between Bond and Natalia was not that great, and I was it was kind of cringy. But what you gonna do, I guess. And yeah, I think overall I just enjoyed it for what it was. And as for my first Bond movie, I guess I have no like context from the other ones, but I think it was pretty good. So I'm gonna give it a 4 out of 5.
Okay. Yeah, that's pretty good. I mean, it's mostly what I thought of. I thought the movie, the action scenes did, hold up to its standards, and it still does to these days. Even though, as Yemi said, they're campish, and you can tell. Oh yeah, that was a Jack, lifting off right there. But it's an older movie. What are you gonna do? I thought the movie was also kind of random at points, like Yemi said, you could have done without some scenes, and but that's all given movies you could have done without. The chemistry, yeah, Yemi also nailed it in. It didn't make sense. Tay said that double 006 and double 007, that would have been kind of nice to get a little bit of background on, or even maybe a little bit of like a flashback or something could have helped a lot. Um, Overall, I did like Bond in this movie. He was a good actor, and all the acting was pretty good. I did like the tank scene. I think that's a classic scene, and I think I'll remember that every time someone mentions GoldenEye. I'll be like, oh yeah, that tank scene. um, Overall, I think I'm gonna give it a 3.5 out of 5.
For me, like I said, I mean, there's a lot of nostalgia here because it was actually my first James Bond movie too, but it was just 20 years ago, 25 years ago. Yeah, 25 years ago when I saw it.
Yep.
But I still enjoyed it. I think there's a few things in it hold up. Like I said, the chemistry. If they'd cut out some of those scenes and given us like a flashback scene or something, that they could have done things a little better. But they followed the James Bond formula for the most part. I think they did pretty good. Like it's definitely one of the better James Bond movies I've ever seen. And then again, I haven't seen them all or anything. So, but overall, I'd give it a 3.5 out of 5.
Same as Megamind.
Yep.
So honestly, I did enjoy the movie. I was laughing at moments because moments were some moments were pretty funny. Some moments were just like, I could have done without the joke. But then again, some other person could have bought after it. So who knows? Also during the time, it made me laugh because when I watched the podcast with my family in the room, they mentioned it's like, well, it's like 5 years ago, not many people had computers or games. It was people starting to get computers, and you just see them every time you have a computer scene. You just see them like tapping away at random keys, just and then entering into the computer. It's like, oh, it works.
It's just a cool hacker man moment,
Yeah.
Old computers were easy to hack. You just had to hit random buttons.
Overall, I can't blame some practical effects because they were funny and they kind of helped the tone in the movie. So I'll give it a 4 out of 5.
Yeah, I like how Boris was able to like hack with one hand, like pressing. He was only pressing like W, E, R, F, D, S, Z. It's like, what are we doing here? But yeah, I'm glad we all enjoyed it enough. I'll probably watch a few more Bond movies on my own. Hopefully, I kind of want to watch From Russia with Love because that game was one of my favorites back on the GameCube. So maybe I'll watch that sooner or later. But yeah, I'm glad
I recommend like Casino Royale's pretty good. Besides, it drags on a little too long at the end there, and Skyfall was good. I haven't seen Spectre.
I think the next one I'm gonna watch is Tomorrow Never Dies. I think that one. I heard good things about that one.
That's the Pierce Brosnan one, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
He had, like I said, he had one. GoldenEye is his best. Then he had another one that was decent, and then the others were just bad. And I can't remember which one's which.
Yeah. There's Die Another Day, World's Not Enough, Tomorrow Never Dies, and GoldenEye are all his movies.
Okay, I'm pretty sure the first two were his best, and then the last two were just bad.
All right.
Like the special effects got kind of better, but like they didn't know how to use them, and so it looks bad. But anyway, sorry.
That's
Let's
okay.
end.
All right, speaking of next movie,
Yeah.
I have a recommendation.
Huzzah.
Lay it on us.
All right, so I'm gonna do Yemmy and Tay route. I want you guys to pick either A or B.
I'm gonna go with B.
I was thinking B as well.
Yeah. Well, Coco, I mean, you go ahead and say your pick anyways. Which one do you want to?
It wouldn't matter anyway. But
I know. But... okay, so B. All right, so Godzilla 2014 is the winner. So I want to check out these movies again with the new Godzilla versus Kong that just came out.
Yeah.
So I saw that. Great movie. I'll recommend it. Anyways, Godzilla.
I'm that this weekend too, sometime.
Yeah, you'll love
I
it.
really have to check it out now because that's now three people that's been saying, "Oh, it's good."
Yeah,
which surprises me. Like a lot.
Right. So Godzilla 2014. I don't think I've actually seen this one. I think I saw the one that everyone crapped on. The other one, I can't think of it. I think it's
the one the T-Rex.
2014. Oh, the 2000 with Matthew Broderick was the one everyone crapped out on. Out of the actual MonsterVerse, the 2014 is the one that everyone crapped out on because Godzilla.
It's the one where it's like zoned in on his eye or whatever.
Nick's talking about King of Monsters, which we both really hated when we watched it.
No, not King of Monsters.
Yes.
King of Monsters came out 2 years ago.
But he's recommending the one from 2014, which is not King of Monsters.
Yeah. This is just titled Godzilla.
Yeah,
but it's from 2014.
Yeah,
I think something got messed up in there, so...
All right, anyways. All right, Ford Brody, a naval bomb expert, has just reunited with his family in San Francisco when he is forced to go to Japan to help his estranged father, Joe. Soon, both men are swept up in a crisis when an ancient alpha predator arises from the sea to combat adversaries that threatens the survival of humanity. The creatures leave colossal destructions in their wakes as they make their way towards their final battleground, San Francisco. So, who are some people in this movie? We've got Aaron Taylor Johnson, Elizabeth Olsen, Bryan Cranston, Ken Watanabe, weird name, Sally Hawkins, and David Strathairn, and others. So Godzilla 2014.
Yeah, I actually just added it to my watch list after watching Godzilla versus King Kong, because I was like, I should go back and watch this one. But now I have a actual specific reason to watch it. So
yeah.
No, the 2014 one's pretty good. Godzilla's not in it enough, but other than that, it's fine.
Yeah, I mean, we'll probably talk about it a little bit more next time, but I thought that the one that came after this one was just like, it kind of had the same problem where it like focused too much on the humans, and in the background you have the Godzilla fighting, but it's like it's not really that interesting because you're just focused on this girl screaming and running, and it's like, okay.
Like, we don't care about you.
But I'm interested to see how I feel about it in this 2014 movie, because I haven't watched it since it came out on DVD. So it'll be interesting to see if I care more about the human characters now or not. I don't know.
The one I was thinking of was the 1998 version.
Yeah, with Matthew Broderick.
Yeah.
That one was bad.
I mean, I saw it when I was a kid and I really loved it, but obviously when I went back and watched it, I was like, oh boy. And it's funny, I actually looked up on the just a fax website or whatever. The Japan actually had the same Godzilla from that movie in a movie of theirs, and they had Godzilla immediately kill it really easily. And I was like, damn.
That was great. I can't remember if that was Godzilla 2000 or something else, but I did actually watch that one, and we were all laughing when they call it Zilla.
Yeah,
Godzilla is Zilla.
All right, but we'll talk all about the kaiju in the next episode.
Yeah.
Do you want to know what selection A was going to be?
Sure.
Kong, Skull Island. So
I should have picked A because I haven't actually seen that one yet.
Oh yeah,
I've seen them both.
Yeah.
All right, so if you don't want to be spoiled for Godzilla 2014 and possibly Godzilla, God of King of Monsters, or possibly if we've all seen it by then, Godzilla vs. King Kong, we'll probably reference those movies. Make sure you watch at least Godzilla for 2014 before the next episode in 2 weeks, and we'll talk about that.
Sounds good.
Alrighty.
All right. Well, I think we've said all that needs to be said for this episode. Remember, if you want to join in on the fan vote, get your movie recommendations in. You can comment on YouTube, send us an email, or talk in the Discord. It's up to you to send us or to decide our fate or whatever I say. I don't know. Anyway, anyone else have anything they want to say before we tune off, whatever? I don't know. What am I saying?
Yeah.
Say goodbye.
Mike off?
All right.
Nope, I have nothing.
Okay.
Got nothing as well.
Well, I am Yemmy the Ferret, and I've been here with...
Grady Waffle.
Taymation.
Go Gamer.
And we are Film Freaks with a Z. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.
See ya.
Hello?
Hey.
Hello.
I didn't hear a goodbye from Tay or Coco.
I said goodbye.
I said bye.
Yeah,
I didn't hear anything from them.
Yeah.
Bye.
Yeah, now, all right. We'll all say
Too late
goodbye
now.
again. All right, goodbye.
Bye.
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 There we go.